Um, Mr. Donuts, you spelled your
Losing
name wrong. I
Alpha.
hope you know that.
Alright, so how do you want me to spell it? D-O-N-U-T-S? That's not me, I'm not Donuts, I'm Donuts, baby, come on now. Good morning, you absolutely beautiful people. How are you doing this beautiful Call of Duty morning? Today you are getting the second video in the series I'm calling the class review. We are reviewing all of the guns and their respective classes for Call of Duty Ghost. Instead of doing a long, boring, drawn-out weapon guide, we will just do this. Quick note about the gameplay: it was really difficult for me this week to get a good game with a good connection with good people. So I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of a rough time with Call of Duty right now. We're going through a little rough patch, but it's alright. We're still having fun. And hope you guys enjoy. Let's start off with the worst light machine gun in its category. Here we go. This was a tough choice, but I had to decide that the Amelie was definitely the worst light machine gun in its category. It has increased recoil for the first 2 or 3 bullets, which makes it incredibly difficult to use at a long range, and it's an LMG, so that means it has a low rate of fire, which makes it incredibly difficult to use at a close range. So the range that it's actually useful, the range where the rate of fire isn't that big of a deal or the recoil isn't that big of a deal, is incredibly small. I would call it like a long range for a submachine gun or a medium to short range for an assault rifle. Guns in this game don't have a lot of recoil, so when using the Amelie, a gun that does have a lot of recoil, it's really awkward to use. It's incredibly consistent recoil, unlike the CBJ submachine gun, but it is incredibly high for those first 2 or 3 bullets. This was the only gun that I had trouble using. Like, I didn't care about using the chainsaw. I didn't care about using the CBJ. Those were quirky and fun, but for this gun, I really don't have a best class setup. I don't know why anyone would even use this gun when they're given the option between the LSAT or the M27. I mean, the lack of specialization is incredibly apparent, and this gun, it was just, I was being beat by submachine guns at close range. I was being beat by assault rifles at medium to long range. There's just no niche for this gun. There's no reason to use this gun, and there's nothing cool about this gun. So let's take a look at the second worst LMG, or the third best, however you want to look at it. Did you guys know a synonym for inconsistent is the chainsaw? I did. I figured it out last night when I was getting these clips. The only reason this is not the last light machine gun on the list is because the Amelie was just too terrible. Let's start off with the good things about this gun. The rate of fire, the movement speed, and the fact that you're hip firing a chainsaw. No, it's not a chainsaw, but you know, it's called the chainsaw, and it's really cool, and it's really, really fun to use when you get clips, when you get those awesome streaks just hip firing people. It's really, really satisfying, and I'm getting excited even just watching these clips as we speak. But this gun is inconsistent at best. I mean, sometimes you'll see in these clips, I just drop people. They go down to the ground dead. Other times you won't see, I don't think I show any of the clips where they are in my range and I rain bullets in on them and they just don't die for whatever reason. So it's inconsistent, but as far as attachments go, you know, there's nothing really game-changing about this. Silencer, you'll notice a little decrease in range, I guess. Rapid fire, a little bit better. Time to kill, more consistent with rapid fire. Muzzle brake, you'll get a little bit more, I don't know, range, I guess, like it, you know, shocker there, right? But nothing that will change the way you use this gun in the attachment category. Moving on to perks, this gun is great because it has, I think, the assault rifle movement speed, 90%, I think that's what it's at. And you'd think hipfire only, you would need steady aim, but you don't necessarily have to have it, so it's not a necessity. So you have pretty much free reign with perks. I will recommend steady aim because it is more consistent. Sleight of hand is nice, but I do really like this class with specialist. Specialist, it's really good. Hardline, steady aim, dead silence, amplify, ready up. And I think that's it. I think that's all I had. Yeah. And then I had sleight of hand, scavenger, and then like focus, stalker, and whatnot. That's another thing about the perks. You don't necessarily need a lot of perks. You don't need quick draw. You don't need stalker. They do affect it, but not as much or as important enough as the other guns. So it's really nice to use perks with this gun. Ping, ICU. It's really fun. This is really just a fun class. You don't need focus. It is somewhat nice to have at medium to long range, but if you're getting into medium long range gunfights with the chainsaw, you're probably doing it wrong anyway. So as far as this gun is concerned, I really like it. I think it's fun to use, but I do not in any way, shape, or form think it's at all competitive. I had to put it down and get out my honey badger or whatever to go try hard and win a couple games here and there. But it is really fun to use, and it is really satisfying to get those long distance kills. I would give it a try, get it gold. It's really fun, really cool to use. And let us see what is the number 2 light machine gun. And at number 2 we have the LSAT. Now, the LSAT is a very good gun. Any negatives I say are only minor, and this gun is a very competitive gun and a very good gun to use. This gun can be used with multiple attachments, tracker sight, silencer, foregrip, red dot sight. Really, it doesn't matter. I like the iron sights. The iron sights are really clear and really clean. Good to use, especially with a silencer. You can reduce that muzzle flash and you can even get a better sight on target than you normally would. And tracker sight works as well as a tracker sight should. I don't think it's as overpowered as people say. It really gives me tunnel vision, and I think it's the cause of a lot of my deaths. So if you want, you can put a tracker sight on it. Same thing with rapid fire. Rapid fire, you're going to get a lot more recoil, and you're going to notice the recoil at a mid to long range as opposed to just the long range. The recoil isn't horrendous, it's not uncontrollable by any means, but it is there, so that's why it's number 2. My ideal class setup for this, as well as the Amelie and the M27, is Ready Up, Stalker, Quick Draw, Dead Silence, and Amplify. Now, Quick Draw is kind of half and half. I guess you could get rid of Quick Draw, but I don't know what you would get rid of it for. Maybe Focus and Gambler. I don't know other than that. You could get rid of Amplify if you're not a headphone user, and put on Focus. I love, like I said before with the chainsaw, I love using Specialist with this, and I do Hardline and Focus, and I do like Sleight of Hand, Scavenger, Ping, and ICU for my Specialist bonus. That is it for the LSAT. Let's move on to number 1. I wonder what could it be? While recording an extra on his secondary channel, Xbox Ahoy put his review for this gun ever so elegantly. He said, I don't want to say this gun is hideously overpowered, so let's just say this gun is hideously overpowered. And I can't help but agree with him. Now, this is not a Modern Warfare 2 UMP, this is not a Modern Warfare 3 ACR, and even that wasn't overpowered. It's not the MSBS from the first couple days of Ghosts, but it is a very good gun. There is little wrong with this. In fact, I would argue the only thing wrong with the M27 is what's wrong with every LMG, and that's the slow movement speed, the slow and down sights, and the slow rate of fire. There is a very moderate damage. I would like to, it feels like a moderate damage. The recoil is very low, and rate of fire is not too terrible. I believe this one is supposed to be the low damage and the low recoil, and that would be true, but you can, it's, in a game with such low time to kill, I hate it when people use time to kill as an excuse, because I love the time to kill in this game. With such a low time to kill, when you have low recoil and a high or moderate damage, it's really teetering on the lines of unbalanced, and if you were to ask me, to completely balance this game, I would say give the M27 a little bit more recoil, or make it a one more bullet to kill for this gun. As far as attachments go, use anything you want. This is one of my favorite guns to use with rapid fire, foregrip, silencer, muzzle brake, any sight you want. It's cool. Thermal is fine. Tracker sight is fine. A lot of people get upset with thermal. I don't really have that big of a deal with it. It's a great gun. I think it's an easy gun. I do mentally look down on people who use this gun, even though I shouldn't. It's fine. It's a good gun to use because it's hideously overpowered. But that's it, you know. Same class setup as I have with all LMGs. If you want, you can go with Assault. It's just my setup. It's my thoughts, and I think this is the setup or the class ranking everyone would give the LMGs, and that's what I'm curious about today. Write down in the comments section below, what is your list of the top light machine guns? Where do you place all of them? Where do you have the most fun with? And I thought last week with the submachine guns, I thought I had like the perfect list that everyone would agree with. No, people loved the Bison. People loved the CBJ more than I thought. People didn't like the K7 or the Vepr. It was really interesting to see. So I want the same thing to happen this week. Write down in the comment section below, what is your list of the light machine guns, worst to best, best to worst, whatever it may be. Thank you guys so much for your awesome support lately. I've been loving it, you've been loving it. Hopefully we keep this going, and until the next beautiful Call of Duty morning, I will catch up with you beautiful people later. And as always, have a great day.